Hello everyone, welcome. It is great to be here again with you today. We are going to talk today about how to prepare for selling your home in 2023. All right, so the first thing, what not to do in real estate as you are preparing to sell your home is do not choose the wrong realtor to sell your home. Now, I was talking to someone just a couple weeks ago and they were like, we sold our home a few months ago. And I was like, I would have loved to have been that realtor. And they said, but we're so sorry we didn't use you. Maybe we should have. We used our friend's fiance. He's new. We wanted to help him out. And that was so kind. And then they said those words, we didn't make as much as we could have. And I was like, that's too bad. So at what cost to you is it to maybe use somebody who's not experienced enough? Now, I'm not saying don't use a new realtor. I was brand new once as well. But if when you're choosing your real estate agent to sell your home, choose somebody, even if they are brand new, that at least has a mentor that's working with them, or someone who is experienced in the listing department who understands what they're doing. It's so key to have somebody who knows what they're doing or is attached to someone who's mentoring them to help them in the process, because you can lose a lot of money, and that's not the goal in selling your home. We want you to earn as much as you can on that investment. This realtor that you're choosing should really understand and have a great grasp of what your needs and your goals are in selling your home. And they should understand the market and how to guide you in what the market climate is and what that looks like in selling your home, and understand the area of where your home is located and who they're marketing your home to and how to market it the best. I talk to my clients when I sit down to list with them and I say, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to strategize and make your house stand out above all the other homes that are listed? And so I actually show them, like, these are the other homes. What can we do to make your house look the best? And within your capability of doing that, right? Everybody has different capable resources to use to make that house stand out above the rest, but we want to make it marketable. So super important that you pick the right realtor. If you need one in coastal Virginia and coastal North Carolina, call me. I'm happy to help you. Number two, all right, do not underestimate the cost of selling your home. So we've been in a seller's market. We're still in a seller's market in 2023. But if you get so excited about what you can sell your house for, but you don't realize what that's going to cost to sell your home, then you're kind of only taking part of the pie, right? We want to understand the full numeric value of what this is going to cost. So your realtor needs to sit down with you. I sit down with my clients and say, this is what it costs to sell your home. How much are commissions going to be? How much are concessions going to cost? How much are title fees? How much can you expect in repairs that someone might ask for? And so these are good numbers to have down so you have a really good, just a scope of what to expect. That's really important. All right, number three, do not ignore the major repairs and prepping for your home sale. So don't ignore those things. Buyers don't want to inherit a bunch of stuff to fix. So if you see things and that's really out there, needs to be fixed, don't ignore those things. It's going to turn buyers off to your home. They don't want to take care of stuff that you need to take care of, and it makes your home less marketable. So let's fix those things. And I can help you understand what's important to repair and what may not be so important. I worked with a seller, and they were just so worried about every single detail. And I was like, hey, it's okay. Take the pressure off you. Let's fix this, 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 and this. These are your first 5 items to do. Those other little details, let's just put that aside. If you get to take care of those things, great, but let's really focus on the main things that are really, really important and let go of the rest. And once that seller started to do that, they could think a little clearly, didn't feel so much stress. It's a stressful time, and could just focus on what was important. And then they actually got to a couple of those extra things, and then they felt better about it. They were one of those overachievers in selling, which is wonderful, right? We love those kind of people. So, okay, number 4, do not limit showings when your home is listed. So this is really key. Okay, you go in to list your home, but you're like, oh, I can only show the house between 2 and 3 on Sunday. It's like, okay, that's not always gonna work for everybody. So whatever we can do to keep your house available for showings. And I like to work with my clients and say, you know what, if you can't be there, but say you want someone there, myself, maybe one of the colleagues that I work with, hosting open houses during a specific time that's good for you. Let's work with your schedule so that your home can be available to show to potential buyers. If it's closed, people can't shop, right? Can't go to the mall, can't go to the store if it's closed and find the shoes that you want. So it's super important to not limit your showing times, right? And number 5, don't only consider the highest offer. So say you're in a situation and you're selling your home and you get a couple of different offers that come in, and one is just like, this number is great. The devil is in the details sometimes. So you can have a great number on paper for a purchase price, but then they could, list a bunch of extra stuff that they're asking you to do, which when you add up those numbers can be a lot higher than maybe what the other offer is. So it's really important to navigate all this fine details and really see what is the best overall offer. So don't get jaded by that high offer price. Okay, so that's that. So we've talked about what not to do. Let's talk about how to prepare for home selling and what to do, okay? All right, so my first one is detach, declutter, and depersonalize. And I say detach because this is really hard for a lot of sellers. They are so emotionally attached to their homes, and I get it. We love our home and it's just personal, right? But we need to detach from those homes emotionally a little bit. What is your next goal? You want to get into a different home, you want to downsize, you want to upsize, you want to move and get a little piece of land somewhere, whatever your goal is, make that really your focus and kind of detach emotionally from this home. I know it's special. Maybe there's something that you want to do in the home, take a picture somewhere with your kids that you'll always remember that, put it on a wall in your next home. That's a great idea. But you need to detach emotionally from that space. And what that means is you're gonna have to let go maybe of some things. You're gonna have to declutter from it. Really, you should be getting rid of like maybe almost half of your belongings in your home. I'm not saying you have to throw it all out, but maybe if you wanna put it in a storage unit or give some stuff away to Goodwill. We all have a bunch of extra stuff laying around that we don't need. But we need to get rid of a lot of stuff and declutter the space, okay? Move it out. Knickknacks. If you're a knickknack person and you just love, and you're like, I've collected these, that's great. A lot of people are not gonna be as excited about your knickknacks. I love them, but I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen all the time. And how, does anybody know how to spell the word knickknack? I don't know, it's really, it's crazy. Anyway, so get rid of your knickknacks, declutter, and depersonalize. So I say depersonalize because people do not want to see you living in their future home. They actually want to have this vision and cast a vision. And believe me, their agent is trying to cast that vision for them too. If they are going into your home, their agent's like, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful. This is exactly the space that you were talking about that would be great for your home office or your playroom that you were talking about, or you needed this extra mother-in-law suite. And if they see themselves there, that's great. Now, if they're seeing all your stuff, and your shower things, then it feels weird. Don't invite them into your personal space like that. So anyway, so declutter, depersonalize, make it about what they will be looking at, all right? So super important. Number 2, organize and stage the home. And I always tell people less is more, right? So whenever you're looking at like say Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, we're always like, less is more. When you take a bunch of stuff out and you stage things really simply and clean, it just always looks so much more inviting. So remember that even when you're taking care of your closets, when you're taking care of drawers, it doesn't have to be perfect, but neat, clean, less stuff, less clutter is really important in getting your house ready. Remember your garages too. So some people live in their garage. They love their garage space. They're making she sheds out of them and man caves and everything else. They want their hangout spaces. We have neighbors, we go hang out in their garage all the time. It is the place to be. We watch football games out there. So make your garage part of the sale. Clean it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but clean it up, make it neat and organized. People will be looking at that space as well. Rearrange your furniture or get rid of pieces that don't belong in a space. So if it's really cluttered and tight, let's remove some of those pieces, maybe put them in storage or whatnot. But ultimately you wanna make your room as big and open as a feel as you can, right? Because people wanna go, oh, this space is so big. It feels so good. I can see my big sectional in here. If you've got a bunch of stuff in a one space and it's too cluttered, they're not gonna be able to envision their sectional in your living room, okay? So next, moving on, lighting is really important. When you open up the windows, when you bring in natural light, it just brightens and opens everything up. It actually gives the illusion of a much bigger space and a much bigger room. If you need to maybe change out your hardware, so if you have blinds that are broken, change those out or remove them. I always tell people, if you add in like some white curtains, I have white curtains throughout my house that brightens up the space. I love open windows and things like that. That's a great way to open up a space. Change out your light bulbs or add lighting to a room. That's perfect idea to make it nice and bright and open. All right, number 4 is paint your space or neutralize it. So I can't tell you how many homes I have walked in as a buyer's agent where they have like a purple room, and then they have the pink room, they have the green room and the yellow room, and I'm like, woo! And I love colorful people. It's wonderful. If you are someone who loves color, I think it's beautiful. And now color is being used all the time. My daughter is an interior design major, and color is being used in a beautiful way. But not all of us are interior design majors. Goodbye, Charlie. So what I'm saying is you are trying to market to the majority, right? So I say neutralize that space with a paint color that is going to really speak to the masses, not just a particular niche of people. And so if you have a lot of different colors in your house, let's just pick one color. You can look on Pinterest like favorite grays, favorite blues, or whatever, just pick a color that's much more neutral, that's going to appease and make a lot of people happy. And stick with it all over. Let's not have tons of different colors going all over the place. That's gonna be a great way to keep your house marketable. All right, number 5, repairs. And we talked about repairs before, but make a list of all the repairs that you know that need to be done, that maybe your honey-do list kind of fell by the wayside and you're like, I haven't gotten to that. Make that list and let's get to fixing. Buyers, again, don't want to inherit all the things that need to be done, and it does increase your marketability. So let's get things rolling and start working on those things. Number 6 is curb appeal. I get this all the time. Me and my buyers are rolling up to a house. The first thing that comes out of the mouth is usually like, it says it all, right? And if they go up and they're like, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So you want people to be like, oh my gosh, so cute. I love this. Wow, it's so clean. Love those conversations as we're walking up to a house. So when you are looking to sell your home, stand in front of it and just stand there and look at it. Honestly, I need to kind of do that to my house too, every spring and fall, and be like, how's it looking? And then usually grab my husband. I'm like, hey, we need to do, and he's like, great, good job. She's standing in front of the house again, giving me a list of things. But it's important to take a really good, honest look at the curb appeal of your home. Does your house need any kind of, does it need to be washed, pressure washing? Do you see like build up with algae? If you have the side of your house and it has siding that gets a lot of shade, a lot of times over the seasons, you'll get some algae buildup, and just take a nice pressure washer, clean it up. Do the windows need to be cleaned like that? Do your gutters need to be cleaned out? Super important. Are your shrubs kind of overgrown? Do you have some shrubs that are dead? Just yank those things out. Does it need fresh mulch? There are ways to simplify your shrubs in that area and clean it up without spending a lot of money as well. So those are easy things to do. One thing that's really nice is repaint your front door. Doesn't mean you have to go with a color, or you're like, what color do I repaint it? Don't have to worry about that. Even if it's repainted the same color, just a fresh coat of paint makes all the difference in the world. And then lastly, on curb appeal, get rid of stuff that is just laying around. It happens to all of us. You're not alone. Your kid brings home, I have a son that's avid car fixer. He is amazing at fixing cars and things. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why does my backyard look like a junkyard. I'm like, what is this? You know, and so I'm like, we need to get rid of this. We've got an extra bumper from a truck that you don't own anymore, so it's probably time to get rid of that. So, you know, these things can pile up sometimes and you're just like, we gotta go. So take care of those things, take a haul to the dump, whatever you need to do, and just to clean out. But get a good assessment of your space on the exterior as well, and make sure that people are coming up and going, ooh, ah. And if you need any tips on that, I'm happy to look at your home and see what it needs and give you some fresh tips on how to keep that, and low cost tips as well. Number 7, clean every single inch of your home. And I think this is, as you're decluttering and getting rid of things, one of your final touches is making sure everything's scrubbed and clean. Bathrooms and kitchen. The number one sanitary places that people are looking at, if your bathrooms are kind of gross and your kitchen's gross, people are like, ooh, clean those areas really good. Scrub all the little nooks and crannies, everything. If you're not into that and you're like, I live here, but I don't want to clean it, hire a professional. It'll be worth every bit of the $500 or however much you spend on that. If you're in my area and you're looking to hire me as your listing agent, I have phenomenal housekeepers that come and they have done a lot of my clean outs for my listings. They're wonderful, so I'd be happy to recommend them for that. But hire a pro if you don't want to do it yourself. Ceilings, make sure there's no cobwebs, all the ledges, the baseboards, things like that. People look at that kind of stuff, and if it's clean and inviting, it's a win for you. And then lastly, and this is so important, I put this last on the list, make sure your house smells good. And maybe you're a pet lover like me, I love little Charlie, but sometimes he's a stinky doggy and he needs a bath. So if you have pets and you're like, I love my cats, I love my dogs, I love my iguana, I love this, I love that, I love my ferret, you know, it's wonderful. I am an animal lover too. But make sure your house doesn't really smell like an animal, you know, you don't want to. Or whatever it is. I have teenagers, make sure it doesn't smell like a teenager. I don't know what to tell you, you know, like let's clean it up and make sure it smells good. So people walking in are like, oh, it smells fresh in here, you know, nobody wants to smell other people's weird smells, right? If that's okay to say. But anyway, that is it. How to prepare for selling your home in 2023. It's actually a great market right now, still very much a seller's market in this year coming. And I did some projections and we'll share with you the next quarter coming as well on what we're looking at in the market projections. So keep an eye on that. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Take care, have a great day.